Hey there, this is Dr. Osar, founder of Fitness Education Seminars and developer of the Integrated Movement System. Welcome to this edition of Fitness Insider, the Specialist Series. Our goal at Fitness Education Seminars is to develop health and fitness professionals and really help you develop your expertise. So the clients that really need that extra level of expertise can find qualified individuals like yourself to help them solve their health and fitness problems, as well as help them achieve their health and fitness goals so that they can work out, so they can lose weight, so whatever they want to accomplish, they can accomplish in a safe and effective manner. So we're going to start 2015 out on the right track and help you develop your expertise by starting this specialist series. So each month we're going to take a topic and we're going to help you develop your understanding of the topic and how to use both assessment, corrective exercise, and understand the anatomy and biomechanics around specific issues. Last year we finished up with a 4-part series on the core and why developing neutral alignment of the core was so important. So we're going to continue that conversation this year, and we're going to start out by talking about the 3 keys to thoracic rotation. So over the next series of videos, we'll talk about exactly the assessments to use and how we improve thoracic rotation in the general population clients that we work with. And there's 3 keys to improving thoracic rotation. The first key, number 1, or the keys are based around the principles of the integrated movement system. We create the integrated movement system to help health and fitness professionals work with the general population by applying the principles that govern human movement and how we should move. And the first principle that we look at is the principle of alignment. Okay? We call these the fundamental ABCs, A being alignment. We have to help our clients achieve optimal alignment to get in proper rotation. And when we talk about alignment, we're really focusing on the alignment of the thoraco-pelvic canister. So that thorax, the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, over top the pelvis. So it creates this canister. We have to help our clients find the right and most optimal alignment for them to help improve their rotation. The second key, the second principle of the integrated movement system is breathing. So this is the B of our fundamental ABCs. We must help our clients breathe right, because when we align the thoraco-pelvic canister, or the TPC, and we breathe properly, we create the proper intra-abdominal as well as intrathoracic pressures that help us stabilize. And when we're able to do that, we can not only have proper stability, but we also are able to decompress forces. The force of gravity, the force of external loads, the force of our muscles contracting. So again, breathing helps us create the internal pressures to both stabilize us as well as decompress us from all these forces that are coming down upon our trunk and spine. And then the C of the fundamental ABCs is control. Once we teach a client how to align, once we teach them how to breathe to create that stability without over-compressing their system, now we must teach them how to control their thoraco-pelvic canister alignment so that they can achieve rotation without creating problems. And when our clients lose rotation, it's because they've lost one or more of the fundamental ABCs. They have lost the ability to align their spine with their thoraco-pelvic canister. They've lost the ability to 3-dimensionally breathe to create that optimal pressure, and or they've lost the control required to properly rotate. So they've lost some of the joint centration, for example, how to control their joints one segment compared in proportion to the next segment. So again, we need all 3 components of the integrated movement system: alignment, breathing, and control. When our clients are able to achieve alignment, breathing, and control, we start to improve rotation and we start to take a lot of those detrimental stresses off this trunk and spine. So again, we start to diminish the ability or diminish the likelihood of creating compensations and some of the soft tissue stress, disc stress, as well as joint stress that leads to degenerative joint and or disc disease, which causes low back pain and problems as our clients age, and keeps them from achieving their health and fitness goals. So again, apply the principles, help them align the thoraco-pelvic canister, help them breathe 3-dimensionally, help them control. We talked about a lot of this in the last series, so if you missed that, click on the link below. In the next upcoming videos, we're going to talk about how do we use these principles specifically, alignment, breathing, and control, to both assess as well as progress our client's ability to rotate. And we're also going to talk about a few of the myths surrounding rotation, and that you honestly don't need to train rotation to actually improve rotation. Yes, you have to use rotation type patterns, but you don't actually have to teach people how to rotate to improve their ability to rotate. I'll show you what we mean by that in the upcoming videos. So I hope this video served you. Stay tuned for the next couple videos coming up to look at how we use these concepts with our general population clients. And we'll catch you next time. This is Dr. Osar with Fitness Insiders. Stay tuned for the upcoming special series this year to help you guys become the specialist that your clients need, want, and will seek out. Take care. We'll catch you next time. Hey there, this is Dr. Osar, founder of Fitness Education Seminars and developer of the Integrated Movement System. Welcome back to part 2 in our specialist series, our Fitness Insider Specialist Series. We're going to help you develop your expertise this year so you can be the expert your clients need, want, and will seek out. Last time we talked about improving thoracic rotation. We're going to continue that conversation. We talked about the integrated movement system and why the principles of the integrated movement system, alignment, breathing, and control, are so important to helping our clients develop the proper alignment, breath, and control, stabilization and control they need to get to the point where they can start to rotate with greater efficiency and with less likelihood of compensations. So the fundamental principles are where we start. Teach them how to align, teach them how to breathe, teach them how to control. And we'll go more into that in this video and in the next video. Now there's 2 key areas where we start to teach our clients how to gain rotation. First is we can teach them to rotate through their trunk and spine. So we can actually get TPC rotation by itself. So again, we're getting rotation of the trunk and spine itself. So the pelvis is staying relatively neutral, and we're rotating the trunk and spine around a relatively stable pelvis. So TPC is rotating. We can also get hip rotation. And this is where the TPC stays neutral, and then we're moving the TPC and pelvis around the femoral head. So we keep this neutral, keep the TPC neutral, and move that around the femoral head. So again, we can either rotate around the TPC, around the trunk and spine, or we can keep the trunk and spine neutral and rotate around the head. And finally, there actually is a third category, and that's where we combine both, where we have both the trunk and spine rotating as well as motion of the hip. And that's eventually where we want to get our clients to. However, we have to teach them, we have to ensure that the client can get TPC rotation so they can rotate on an axis, and that they can also dissociate and move through their hip or rotate around the femoral head around the acetabulum, or rotate the acetabulum around the femoral head. So let's talk about that real quick, and then in the next videos we'll go into actually how we do that. So we want to look at, we must teach a client how to rotate the trunk and spine. So if we think of an axis, or this long line through this imaginary axis through the top of the head and through the spine, we want to align the TPC, and then we want to teach the client how to rotate on an axis. So when they rotate, they're not shearing off, they're not rotating and shearing off or translating off that axis. That when they rotate, they're rotating around that imaginary axis. And we're going to stop the client when they can no longer rotate on that imaginary axis. And we'll go through the patterns. I'll show you the patterns in the next video of how we actually accomplish that and what we're actually looking for in our clients. Similarly, when we teach a client how to dissociate or move around their hip, rotate around their hip, we're going to keep the TPC neutral now. Now we're going to keep it neutral and move the TPC around that femoral head. So the femoral head becomes the stationary point, and we're moving the pelvis or the acetabulum over top that femoral head. So again, this is also another key skill that our clients must develop. Because a lot of our clients are rotating, but they're not actually getting good hip rotation. So then they start over-rotating through the lumbar spine, or they start extending, or they start shifting their pelvis out to the side because they can't get that pure rotation of that acetabulum or that pelvis over top the femoral head, or vice versa, or move their femoral head around the acetabulum. And then finally, we want to teach the client how to get both aligned through that axis, that imaginary axis through the top of the head. Keep that TPC aligned. Keep that lower extremity aligned where it belongs, and then teach the client how to rotate their trunk and spine, rotate their pelvis around the femoral head, and then combine this into an integrated pattern. So again, this both pattern is really an integrated pattern that combines both TPC rotation as well as hip rotation. So we're integrating the ability to rotate the trunk and spine, as well as the ability to rotate the pelvis around the femoral head, so it becomes a fundamental movement pattern, that rotation pattern that we're looking for in sports, in life, in gait, in all those activities that we need to do, and to be able to control it, because we can improve function by just teaching people how to rotate through the TPC. We can improve function by just teaching people how to rotate through their hips and controlling their TPC. Eventually, however, we want to teach people our clients, how to integrate both TPC rotation as well as hip rotation, so again, they become more functional for the activities that they need to do for everyday life. In the next video, we're going to the assessment that we use, as well as the progression of how we start this process of how to start TPC rotation. And then in the following video, we'll look at how do we start hip rotation. And then the final video, we will look at how do we integrate this into a fundamental movement pattern, so you can be that specialist that your clients need to improve rotation, to reduce chronic tightness and discomfort, and to accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish, whether they be to exercise at a high level, lose weight, go on a hike, or just play with their kids, or just get through life, everyday life, with less chronic tightness and discomfort. This is Dr. Evan Osar with Fitness Education Seminars. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 3, where we go into the assessment and the fundamental movement patterns of TPC rotation.